movie fans, welcome to Cold and Trash Horror Movie Grind the Podcast. I am your host, Ian. This is the show in which we grind on the absolute worst horror and sci-fi movies we can find and make fun of just how bad they are, as well as praise the good cult classics that have been lost throughout time. Now get ready, because we're about to dive real deep inside of Hollywood's dumpster in search of the good, the so bad it's good, and the fucking ugly. Now put on your seatbelt, grab a beer or two, and enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Cold and Trash Horror Movie Grind. Coming back at you with another one. I'm Ian, and this is Bree here right here. What's
up?
How you
Thanks for
doing?
having me.
Hell yeah, as always. So today we're doing a movie that you actually recommended.
I
did. Which movie is that?
This is going to be Willy's Wonderland, starring our favorite, Nicolas Cage, of course. Well,
right.
At least my personal favorite.
Definitely yours for sure. You and Sloan definitely compete as the Cage somethings. I don't know. The experts of the Cage rage, Cage exploitation.
Cage Rage. I do like that. It makes it sound like it's a WWE match, but it's just Nicolas Cage characters.
It's like I guess yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, so yeah, but we've done two other Cage movies on here.
Yep.
One being Color Out of Space, another being Mandy. Were you on the Mandy episode? I don't remember.
I was.
Oh, okay.
I was on both Nicolas Cage episodes, and this will make 3 out of 3.
And this is definitely the most recent, although they were all pretty recent. Which I try not to cover more recent movies on here because I mean it's not really much of a cult status. However, yes, since Cage himself is like a cult icon now, that not only that, but the fact that this movie is like kind of a midnight movie in itself.
It is, absolutely. And I mean, it's already got a pretty decent cult following in the fact, like you said, it's Nicolas Cage, but I mean, again, I remember it's so funny, like a lot of these movies I find out from the movies So Bad They're Good, Midnight and Cult Classics, but I remember when they just announced this movie, everybody was trying to post the trailer for this. And that's how I found out about it.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. Yeah. So, what specifically about this made you want to cover it today?
I mean, apart from Nicolas Cage, maybe it's just the fact if you haven't seen, well, I mean, you have seen, but maybe the audience hasn't seen This Is Where You Die, where my sister and we cover video games, specifically horror video games. And Willy's Wonderland takes very strong inspiration from a horror video game called Five Nights at Freddy's. And so I figured our other guest was supposed to be my sister today. I thought that would be a fun episode to do with her in the fact that it's very video game based.
Yeah. That's what I've heard. I have not played that.
I haven't either. I know of it, but again, I only play horror multiplayer. Like I've said in This Is Where You Die.
It's
I
not
can't
multiplayer.
It is not, and I am bad at horror games.
You should. So you're not planning on doing an episode on that one?
Maybe I will make my sister do it, and then I'll watch because that one's intense. That one's intense.
Okay. Then you should definitely be the one to do it because reacting to your reaction is pretty good.
Especially, I guess, in the mortuary.
Do it for the people.
Do it for the fans.
If y'all want to see Bree just get scared while playing a game, yeah, hit us up in the comments. But yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so this movie kind of, like you said, it is very much like that game. So it's like kind of a good bridge between the shows.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, you should definitely do that for sure. Um, yeah, this is my first time seeing it, and I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why it took me so long. I definitely meant to a long time ago. I guess it kind of fell off the radar after a while, but yeah, I was pretty impressed by it. I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. Like
Right.
I kind of thought it would be kind of stupid, like fun stupid, and it really absolutely is fun stupid, but more fun stupid than like I thought it would be. Like because like it's definitely the kind of movie that you know you turn your brain off. You do not. It is not a movie that makes you think at
No.
all. However, it's even though it's just like a bunch of dumb things happen, and you know you just like okay, it's like things just happen. You like I said, you turn your brain off. You're not required to think. You just it's like a cartoon kind of. But however, I'd say even though there's not much to it, it actually is a pretty smart movie in a way. I guess the way that the uh, it's directed or something about it is like it's
Yeah.
actually pretty clever
The
in disguise.
cinematography is
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
impressive.
Yeah, and I think that's something that it really didn't need was like all the technical aspects of it, which were all like really amazing. If it was done cheaply and just kinda crappy, it still would have been really good, but it's just, like just the cherry on top of how, like, good the aesthetics are is like, "Damn, this is
Absolutely.
actually, like" on top of that, it's still really good.
Agreed, agreed. All the different I don't want to like spoil since we're about to talk about the plot and everything, but all the different character designs, all the different areas of the, the pizza place. I actually really liked it. I thought it was like you said, fun, but it was very smartly done.
Yeah. I'm not entirely, like, sure how, but it's, like, just the jokes, the comedy was timed very well.
It was. And
Yeah.
they probably saved a lot on the budget by the fact Nicolas Cage doesn't say anything. So that probably
Yeah.
knocked down the price to get him.
Well, you know, there's two things you said actually, like a couple of fun facts. One, he himself put his own money into this
Really?
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, like he somehow he came across the script through like a friend of a friend or something, like a casting director or something. Knew like the guy who's directing this movie. I'm not really sure what his name is because I never do for some. I'm so bad at this. But yeah, the guy who's directing it, he's been working on this movie for quite a while, and Nick Cage was not supposed to be in it. It was just like just this guy just trying to make this movie, and then somehow Nick Cage got a hold of it, read the script, loved it, and he was like, "I want to be in this movie, and I'll help finance it." And he became the producer.
That's awesome. I
Uh,
mean, Nick Cage kind of gets like a bad rap for like how bonkers he is and some of the things he does. But I mean, it seems like he's like a genuinely nice person when it comes to working with these
yeah,
smaller studios.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because of him, all these like small movies are just really like they're taking off. Like this movie very specifically, or maybe Pig or something, just they wouldn't have been as successful if it weren't for him. So he's just like just going into these small, low budget movies, indie films, and just making them. I guess instant cult success, pretty
Right.
much. Some more than others. But, yeah, also, you said the thing about he doesn't have any lines in the movie, no dialogue. Apparently, in the script, he did have dialogue, but it was very little.
Hmm.
And so, what I heard is that Nick Cage said it was like, since my character already does not say much, wouldn't it be funnier if we just don't have him say anything. So that they just like, yeah, just took out all of his dialogue just as a joke, pretty much.
I mean, and it's a joke they rolled with well, I thought it was actually pretty well done. I thought that added to it, honestly.
When you saw the movie for the first time, did you know that he didn't have any dialogue?
I did not.
Okay.
So I'm like halfway through the movie. I'm expecting him to say something, but no, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's I did know that, so it was ruined for me. But I was wondering as I was watching it, like how other people who didn't know, like when they realized that there's no dialogue at all, and so for you it was about halfway.
Yes, like as he's like going through cleaning, like I don't know about you. I've been doing like some cleaning jobs, and every time I'm cleaning, I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks, or oh, this shit smells. Like the fact he didn't say anything then, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess he's gonna have no lines.
You know what would be now that I think about it, that would be funny if he only talked while he was by himself.
Right.
That would have been pretty good too. But yeah, uh, yeah. So just the character himself is the janitor, as he's
Right.
credited, is pretty. Just like, I mean, he's a character, all right.
Right. Like even though he doesn't have a dialogue, I mean, he's still doing some Nicolas Cage like things.
Well, I don't really mean that specifically. I mean like more of he's bizarre. This
Yes.
character is like he's just doing his job of cleaning this place up, and while avoiding being murdered, simultaneously murdering other animatronic animals. Uh,
And playing pinball.
and playing, yeah. So it's like, well, like, yeah, like the most important thing is the job that needs to be done and his breaks that his scheduled breaks that he needs to take. And it's like, what, like, what the fuck is the deal with this guy?
He's very adamant about. Listen, I don't blame him. You got to be on that break schedule. That's like your paid break time.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if you're on break, you can't be working. The guy
No.
told him, like, hey, make sure you take breaks. And so he does. And so I think that's probably what I laughed the hardest is when he's about to like kill that one
That's my
thing.
favorite scene where like he's getting ready, he pulls out the knife and he's like
Uh
taking the battle stance and then his watch goes off. He hands the knife off and then just goes plays pinball.
He does
That
not give a fuck if she lives or dies.
that's my favorite scene, honestly.
Yeah. I'd say so. Um, yeah, I don't even know where to start with this movie. I guess from the beginning because it's so like what the fuck? But I've never accepted such a bizarre movie as much before. Like I just accepted everything, you know. So like, you know, it starts out he's driving his car. Well, I mean, you see people get murdered, but you know, whatever.
Right.
That's just a intro. You understand that there's some weird bizarre shit going on. But anyway, we see him driving, and then there's just spikes over the road, and he runs him over. His tires get flat, and I'm watching this. I'm just like, okay, there's spikes. Like at
This is
no
just something
point,
we're accepting.
at no point do neither I nor Nick Cage himself question these spikes. And he gets picked up, but the tow truck just shows up immediately, and so I'm just like, okay. And then so the guy's talking to him was like, you know, in this town we don't have any ATMs or internet or anything. There's no way you could pay us off unless you want to just clean this place overnight right now. And I'm just like, okay, just
My
accepting
question
everything.
is, like, what would happen if Nicolas Cage like had the money, or like, I don't want to like spoil it because we're gonna
Just
like
let
get
him
down
go.
to like the series of events, but like, What do they do if they do have the money? Like, what happens then?
Nobody carries cash these days.
Not that, because
And
what was he asking for? Like $1,000 or something like that.
I don't remember.
It was something crazy, but you're right. I don't ever carry more than like
I was
five
just like,
dollars.
so I mean, obviously, this town is it's like kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where pretty much the whole town is just in on luring people to traps of their death. And it's like I already knew the plot and everything going in, so like I understood. I didn't really quite know that it was just like Chuck E. Cheese animals going after him. I thought it was like a series of elaborate traps or something set, and like people just kind of like. Have you seen the movie 31?
Yes.
I thought it would be kind of like that.
Okay, that's fair.
I did not realize it was like Chuck E. Cheese basically. But when I did, I was just like, okay. And so is he. Like me and Nick Cage's character, the janitor, we were on par the entire movie. Just so he's just cleaning everything up, and then he's being threatened, and then this guy just like attacks him, and he just defends himself, kills him, and then just goes back to cleaning.
Right, and then there just seems to be an unlimited stock of his size of shirts as well,
Right? Yeah, he changes his
specifically.
shirt every time. I mean, you don't want to just be at work with a bloody shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there a couple times. Out of context. But what had happened was at work they had a blood drive, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go donate blood. And the person who was drawing my blood was like a new tech who was still like practicing phlebotomy and everything like that.
Well, okay.
He misses the vein, and then
Oh
next
shit.
thing I know, blood just squirts on my shirt, and I'm like, I could make a big deal of this, but instead I'm just like, hey, can you just like reposition this needle? Some things
Nice.
you just kind of let go, but I guess you're right. You don't like that's a lot of oil too that he got on himself.
Mm. But what was pretty much your reaction going into this movie? Was it similar to mine, where I was just like, okay, this is happening now, or
Mine was
were
more
you
like
asking more questions?
I was trying to like I'm one of those people if I don't know anything, which is pretty rare considering
Yeah.
like I'm really late to the party on a lot of movies. But this one, I saw it when it came out, and so in my mind, I'm like trying to connect the dots, like what does this all mean, and then how does this tie back to the intro scene? And god damn, I should not have done that. I should have shut my brain off. 'Cause that's where I messed up, and I was like, who are these teenagers? Like, but
Yeah,
then yeah.
I didn't ask a single question. I was just like, okay, this is happening, and then this is happening. Also, you might hear me say this a lot in a lot of movies that we cover, but when I was watching this movie, it was kind of late at night, and I fell asleep. I kept dozing off,
That's
and
fair.
and so like I'm watching, I kind of doze off, and then I see him like violently murdering this thing, and then I doze off again, and there's the teenagers, and I'm just like, wait, what happened? And I rewind, and I've been doing that a lot for these movies. I'm just getting old and just fucking
Yeah,
falling asleep.
9 o'clock rolls around and it's like, oh, shit. But have you seen the movie James Wan's Malignant?
No, I actually have not.
Are you planning on seeing it before I spoil something?
You can go ahead.
So I was at my parents' place, what was it, last year, and I had a similar situation where we started the movie and they're investigating some sort of murder, break-in or something. I fall asleep. I wake up like towards the end of this movie where this woman is like literally ripping the back of her skull open and then like starts to kill a bunch of cops, and I'm like, holy shit, what did I miss? And I couldn't ask my family to rewind, that far back, but I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I had to rewind this a couple times.
Okay.
Uh,
Now, do you watch your movies with your fiance now? Congratulations, by the
thank
way.
you. Yeah,
Congrats.
I'm finally getting married. Yeah, I appreciate it. No, she doesn't like these movies. She doesn't like a
Really?
lot of movies, actually.
Okay.
Um, we're pretty much. She has not seen like any movie, basically, like at all. Like, just name one. She hasn't seen it. So I'm showing her like the classics. Like we just watched Goodfellas a couple weeks ago. It took me like 2 months to get her to watch. Uh, yeah. it,
That's an uphill battle to like go
it
from never
is.
seeing any movies to, hey, watch this really shitty Nick Cage movie with me.
Yeah. I got her to see The Room, and that was fun.
Nice.
She actually loved it. Um, and Troll 2 is next. It's taking us a while to get to Troll 2, but like,
Okay.
yeah, she has no interest in like the shitty, so bad they're good movies. But I mean, she definitely understands and appreciates my love for it.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, it's not her thing. She's like if the story isn't like amazing and there's like no plot holes at all, then she'll like the movie.
I'm trying to think of like a single movie like that.
Right? Yeah, there's not many. She like one of my favorite movies, Almost Famous. We watched that and she like shit all over it. We watched
Oh.
we watched Boogie Nights. She shit all over it.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah. No, the night we watched Almost Famous, and she just like started like saying why she didn't like it. I straight up left. I just like, I'm gonna go home now. But no, she's great. She's amazing, and I'm enjoying introducing her to like all my favorite movies, and
Yep.
it's hit or miss.
It always is with our spouses, to be fair. Significant others, things like that. They either are like
Uh-huh.
full on board or they're like, holy shit, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah. Um, and as far as horror movies goes, she definitely does not like horror. She doesn't like being scared. She scares really easily. So a lot of these movies, like your Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2s and your uh whatever else we've done on this show, um, it's just like no way.
That's fair.
Um, Yeah, I didn't even bother asking her to do this movie, but yeah, like because this movie, like I said, you have to turn your brain off, which some people can't do. So
Right.
it's definitely not for everybody. This is, I was saying earlier, this is kind of like a midnight movie. Like you could kind of compare it to old like 70s grindhouse movies, which
Yes.
which I love. Which, by the way, I'm gonna want to cover a bunch here really soon in a couple months.
We talking like Death Proof or
Well, not Death Proof
right.
exactly, but Planet Terror though.
Ooh, count me in
Like a
if you
hobo
got a
with
slot.
shotgun. Yeah,
If
yeah,
you got
for
a
sure.
slot.
You'll be the first to know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I decided this today actually earlier, just a couple hours ago.
Okay.
November will be Grindvember.
Nice. So just solely grind. You know what? That's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Like
respect it.
the newer ones, like Hobo with a Shotgun and stuff. Um, as like yeah, Planet Terror, like the big ones that aren't actually Grindhouse movies, but are like a tribute to Grindhouse movies,
Right.
as well as actual real Grindhouse movies, like 70s. Like I'm trying to think, maybe like uh, what was it called? Like Werewolf Biker. I forgot what it's called, but there's a movie
Werewolf
that's
Biker Club? No, that's not it. I know
It's
what you're
it's
talking
biker satanic werewolf bikers. That's what
about.
it's
There it
about.
is.
That's not what it's called, but it's
Something like that.
yeah,
What's
something
that
like
one?
that. Like just some crazy shit. And then I'm thinking, there's many genres of grindhouse movies, and blaxploitation is a big one. So probably Blackula.
Yes.
Um,
We got a what's that one with Tommy Lee Jones? Oh fuck.
I
Rolling
think,
Rolling Thunder, something like that?
yeah, that nice. That's a.
That could be a good one.
I saw that movie actually at midnight one time.
Nice.
At Alamo Draft House on a weird Wednesday. That at midnight they showed that movie, and yeah, it's like his first role. He's like 20 years old, but he's still old, and and it's just a part where it's just like he stops having sex with his woman. She's like, "Where are you going?" I'm about to go kill a whole lot of people. Uh, yeah, good reference. And then I'm also thinking Father's Day,
Ooh.
which you know that maybe?
I do. I was gonna say if you can, get Leda. Or no, hers is Mother's Day. Or
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So you don't know Father's Day.
I don't. Nope, I'm thinking Mother's Day.
I think you would really enjoy it by the fact I don't think it's directed by him, but it's the company that did uh uh, so Steven Kostansky, who
Oh, yeah, he did Psycho Gorman. He did
exactly.
oh, what is that
Uh
company's name? Oh god.
yeah.
It's not Spectre Vision, that's Elijah Wood. Fuck.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh.
Much different company.
Yeah. Oh
Well,
god.
that they did a movie called Father's Day. So the guy who
Okay.
plays the dad in Psycho Gorman, I think he directed this one.
Okay.
And uh, it's just it's about a serial killer who kills fathers on Father's Day, and it's a huge tribute to grindhouse movies. It's like it's a lot like Planet Terror.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
If it's Kostansky, I'm in, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think that he directed that one, but it's
I
the
mean,
same production company.
yeah.
Astron 6, that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, well, yeah. Anyway, back to what movie are we doing?
Willy's
Willy's
Wonderland.
Wonderland.
I feel like it's so much easier to get off track with two people.
I don't know. And we go off the rails every time.
That's
It's,
true. Imagine if like other Ian was here.
yeah, for real.
Ooh.
You know, did you know this? We did Alien Resurrection on here, and
What?
we got off the rails so hard that we just didn't show it. Like I showed it to Martin. I was like, "This is the worst episode we ever did," and he was like, "Yeah, this is terrible." And we agreed. We just took it off. We
It
so
happens.
it never aired. I'll do it again though because I really enjoy Alien Resurrection.
That's it.
But yeah,
It's so
much
funny
later.
that it's so far off the rails that even Martin was like, "Yeah, no." I
Yeah.
mean, like, I've had some like I think the very first episode of This Is Where You Die, we didn't even have any sound in the game, and he's like, "Yeah, no, it's fine. Just fucking do it." I'm like, "Okay, I guess."
Really? I
Yeah.
watched that episode. That's the Left 4 Dead, right?
Yes, yes. Or
Yeah,
maybe it was
I don't recall there not being sound.
or no, that was the pilot episode. I couldn't
Oh,
figure out how to
okay.
record sound. Even then, he was still like, "Yeah, this is good. Just it's fine. Let's go with it." And I'm like, okay."
I don't know.
Yeah, back
But
to Willy's
yeah.
Wonderland though.
Yeah, basically, yeah, like I was saying, you just turn your brain off. Like there's a bunch of like teenagers that exist only to be murdered, and it's like a slasher. Uh you know, up to the point where like they're like, "Hey, we're in this room where people just died. You want to fuck?"
Oh my god, yes. And they even like have the full on sex scene as somebody's
Uh,
sneaking up on them. I'm like,
yeah,
holy
yeah,
shit.
and the guy who does like he totally waits for them. He watches them.
I mean, you got to get your kicks first before you kill them, I guess.
Yeah, and so yeah, I guess let's talk about the animatronic, uh, animal whatever, the robot animals that kill people. Those were great. Like
Oh my
all
god,
their
some of the names. Yes.
yeah. I don't. Do you remember the names? I can't really recall them.
There's Willy the Weasel.
Yeah, that's good.
Um, oh my god, there was the Senor, the turtle, and then the gorilla.
Uh,
Oh my god, I'm so bad at this.
oh,
No, I don't remember. I'm like worse at
okay.
remembering names, honestly, when
Yeah,
it comes
I'm
to
terrible at
film
names.
characters.
When it comes to anybody,
That's true.
real or
That's
not,
true.
I'm so bad. Uh, but yeah, they were great. Like they all had like their own character and personality, kind of.
Yeah. Also, you had
Uh,
that female lizard, I think. You had like the chameleon. That's right, the chameleon.
yeah, who changed colors, by the way.
Yeah. And
Uh,
then oh, there's another one. There was like a fairy.
there's Artie the alligator. Yeah, that guy's
Yeah.
great. He's an artist, so his name is Artie.
Yep. Such cliche names. I love it
Cammy the
then.
chameleon, Ozzy the ostrich, Nighty Night,
The night.
Tito the turtle,
There it is.
Gus Gorilla, and Siren Sarah. But
Okay.
yeah, the chameleon, I like she's just like, hey, don't hide. Like, I don't want to be here. All these guys make fun of me. Like, I could teach you what it's like to be on the other side. And the guy just like comes out of his hiding spot. And
Right.
I was like, you fucking dumbass.
Like you're really gonna believe an animatronic that you know is killing people? Like
Yeah.
yeah. So dumb. So dumb.
And especially because like they've been doing this their entire lives. They've been living in this town where like and yeah, I kind of like the story of just like they just uh, uh, people come in and it's like hills have eyes. They just like trap random drifters and just and then it turns into 31 where they just put them in this place and overnight and send people one at a time to kill them. Like yeah, it's like all these different like exploitation movies, midnight movies, like all like mixed together with like really good cinematography, like you were saying.
Right. Yeah, that's I think the beauty of it is like you do think it's gonna be like stupid, but then you're if you are a fan of like these different genres, you're like, holy shit, this is actually fun. I recognize these references, but yeah.
Yeah,
And then they throw in like some demonic elements and then, serial killers, and it's like, huh, this is
yeah,
far from what I
yeah.
expected.
It turns into child's play.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so halfway through they finally give like the origin story, which sometimes that can make or break a movie where they're just like,
Yep.
oh, hold on, here's a whole exposition dump. Let me tell you the story of why this is happening. But no, they were just like, it was real simple and short and sweet. It was just, yeah, there were a bunch of serial killers. They did a satanic prayer that put them into all the robots, and then now the town just feeds them to people, or else they'll kill everybody in the town. Like, done.
Right.
They said that
Like
within the period of like 2 minutes, and then they just moved on from there. And
right,
it's
and they did
like,
a show not tell too, so it wasn't like, we're not seeing what's going on. Like it shows the
yeah,
deal with the animatronics making a deal with the sheriff. Like yeah, I liked it.
yeah, it's like, just here's the shit. Just here it is. Okay, cool, done. Now you understand. Let's keep it going.
Yep.
And it's not at the beginning. It's like halfway through. So it's like, I feel like so many other movies that have tried this have just failed so horribly.
Right, because like you said, they just go on for way too long and it's boring, or they don't show anything, or they do it right at the beginning, so you already know the plot. Yeah.
Like in Friday the 13th, the original one, it's like everybody's getting killed and you don't know why. And then at the very end, you have Pamela Voorhees. She's just like, "Yeah, my son Jason, he died here because all the camp counselors were having sex. So I'm gonna like revenge him and kill all of you." And like that kind of works. I mean, it does. It's very classic. It spawned a whole franchise, but like, eh, it's okay. Like this, like really worked just because of how simple it was, but also very imaginative at the same time. Like there's a lot to it, but they were just like, yeah, so this happened and this happened and this happened. You've seen other movies, it's cool. Go.
We're assuming you've seen another movie, or maybe this is your first. We don't know.
Yeah, and you're watching, it, you're just like, okay, so that happened. All right, I understand. Cool, got it.
Yeah, that was the one time where I didn't ask any questions. I was just like, all right.
There's no questions to ask.
No, exactly. That's like the one time like I finally was like, okay.
And yeah, also the janitor, Nick Cage's character, he's always drinking these like grape energy drinks.
Right. I don't I don't get it. And like every single time it's the same shot of him pulling one out,
Yeah. At
flipping it
first I thought it
open.
was product placement, but it's not a real product.
Oh.
Because the way he was drinking it, it's like like showed the label. It was like, like a cartoon or a commercial, I mean. And it's like, is this product placement? But no, it's not even a real product. So they were like doing a commercial for something that doesn't exist.
I think that was another fun one too, where it kind of did like almost like a Wayne's World kind of thing.
Oh yeah. And then he's just like playing pinball up until because the guy told him to take a break, and he's taking his job very seriously. And yeah, I mean, we mentioned this already, but like, I love how it's just uh, the most important thing is he gets his job done so he can get his tires and continue driving because like this isn't his destination. Like he has a whole nother story that's not in this movie.
Right. But it's funny too, like he after he gets attacked by the first animatronic, which was the ostrich, he cleans himself up and is just like, okay. Didn't like try to escape, didn't try to call anybody, nothing. He was just like, all right, I guess I got to deal with this shit.
I still have this job to do.
Yeah, just kept going. What a trooper.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, so it's just like it's very what the fuck, but it's also just like, okay, cool. What did you think about the girl that was trying to help him?
I thought she was a cool character. I mean, she had the right ideas, and it wasn't her fault that the teenagers ended up in that whole situation. Like her thought process was, "This place is fucked. Let's just burn it to the ground." And then her friends
Yeah.
fucked everything up.
Well, like she went in by herself, and then they just like accidentally crashed into that ball pit.
Right. It was just dumb. Like she just should have kept burning it from the outside like that. But I mean, she had the right intentions to destroy this
Well,
place because
she wanted to save Nick Cage. She was like,
right.
this guy, we need to save him being murdered." And then they realized, like, oh shit, he doesn't need help.
No, no, not at all. But the only complaint I have is like the whole like her being in the intro scene was just like so
uh,
random. Like that could have just been anybody. Like it didn't really make it any more
yeah, they
important.
just had to have a reason for her to be there.
Right, right. Instead of like her parents being the ones sacrificed, like at the very beginning, they just happened to be
Uh-huh.
like victims at the very beginning.
Right. And so, yeah, it gives her motivation and
Right.
everything. You know who I loved was the sheriff,
Oh my god.
especially the actress who plays her.
She's so crazy. I loved her.
Um, she hasn't been in a lot of movies, but she plays a lot of bit roles, and they're all amazing. Do you recognize where she's from?
Nope.
Really? It was bothering me a little bit because I was like, who is her? Who is she? Like I know
Who is her?
but yeah, I looked her up on IMDb, and yeah, she's been in a bunch of shit. Um, Most notably, I would say Donnie Darko.
Really? Who the fuck did she play?
I will answer this with a quote. Sometimes I doubt your commission to
Just
sparkle
Sparkle
motion.
motion. Yeah. God damn it. Of course.
She was that like just horrible fucking person who just like I hated her so much in that movie, but she was so good at it.
Yes.
She was also in Speed.
Is that
She
the
was
one with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves?
yeah yeah
Okay.
with
It's
the
been a minute.
bus.
Yeah.
It's about the bus that's the speed through town because it has a bomb in it. So once the speed goes over 50, the bomb will be set. So it has to keep speeding through town with it, keeping the speed above 50. And if its speed lowered under 50, it would explode.
I remember seeing that movie like so long ago, but I also remember like all the action shots and camera angle changes made me a little nauseous.
That I think that's such a great action movie.
Right. And that was
If
Keanu Reeves' first movie, wasn't it?
oh no, he did Bill and Ted
No, no,
way
no. It
before
was
that.
Sandra Bullock's first
Oh,
movie.
okay. Was it? I
It
don't know.
was. Yeah.
Huh.
Or I'm blowing smoke out my ass. Who knows anymore?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
What was Sandra Bullock's first movie?
I got IMDb up right now. No, her first movie was in 1987
Holy
called
shit.
Hangman. Uh, she
Couldn't
was
tell
in
you.
a movie called Who Shot Pat? The Preppy Murder. She was she was in a bunch of shit.
Huh. Well,
Like,
somebody definitely
oh,
lied
she
to
was
me
in
then.
Demolition Man before Speed.
Yeah, someone lied to me. So I guess I just had to perpetuate that lie.
Uh, but anyway, yeah. So the woman who plays the sheriff in Willy's Wonderland, her name is Beth Grant. She was a passenger on the bus, and she's the one who's like, "What about the rest of us?" When they're trying to get the bus driver gets shot off the bus without exploding, she's like, "What about us?" And she tries to jump off, and just like a small bomb goes off, and she like explodes and gets ran over by the bus.
That's unfortunate.
Well, they told her what would happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, another great role that she was in No Country for Old Men.
Love that one, but it's been
Sh
a minute.
she was the Carly Jean's mom.
Okay.
So they're like, yeah, this hitman he's gonna come and kill you, so you have to move to El Paso. And she's just bitching about it. She's like, I told you when you married him, I said he was no 2 words, no and good. And she's like talking to the taxi driver. You know how many people I know in El Paso? That's how many. And then a line that made me laugh so hard was, "You don't usually see a Mexican in a suit."
God damn.
She just like looks at this guy like make complete eye contact. She's like, "You never see a Mexican in a suit." She's just plays like some fucking like
Small little crazy
she's
roles.
really good at playing really shitty people.
Yeah, some people are just really good at that. Like oh god, what's the name of I never remember the actor's name, but he was god. He was the CEO of the company in The Boys. Oh my god. And then
Oh
he was
yeah,
in
yeah.
Breaking
Oh yeah,
Bad,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
he always just plays like such mean, awful
Oh yeah,
characters.
yeah. Right, Gus.
His name. Yeah. But I can never remember the actor's name. My
Yeah.
husband like sits next to me every single night and plays Far Cry 6 with him in it, and I can't remember
Oh
his name.
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he's always villainous. Have you seen a movie called what was it called? Damn it, Fresh. Have you
Fresh.
seen Fresh?
Oh, it's on my list on Hulu
You
with
need to absolutely.
Sebastian Stan or whatever his name is. Yeah, yeah, I've heard good things about it.
It's dark, very serious drama. It's like kind of soul crushing.
Mm,
But yeah, he's in it. He plays the bad guy.
okay, yeah, famous.
He's very young. It's like super young role. He's like almost unrecognizable. But
Are we thinking of the same movie, Fresh?
it came out in 1994.
Yeah, we are not thinking of the same one. I was thinking about that one that was it Fresh or something like that. That's on Hulu. God damn it.
I didn't think it was on Hulu. Yeah. So there's a movie that came out in 1994. It's called
Okay.
Fresh. It's a very serious, soul crushing drama. It's about this kid living in like I don't know where it is. I think it's like L.A. or something, like Compton.
Okay.
And he's just like trying to get by. He's like this kid like selling drugs for two different rival drug dealers, and one is that guy.
Okay.
Uh, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I would butcher it. But Gus, let's just call him
Yep.
Gus.
Gus from Breaking Bad. There we go.
Yeah, he plays a really villainous drug dealer, and yeah, you should check that movie out. Anyway, pretty much said everything that needs to be said about Willy's
Yeah.
Wonderland.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Um, I didn't think it would be as much of a horror movie or like even like a cult movie. Like I mean, it had that instant cult success,
You're right.
but like we mentioned earlier about like all the references that it makes. Like I was surprised by that.
Right, right. I thought it was gonna be like literally a Five Nights at Freddy's situation. I wasn't expecting all the references, the cinematography, anything like that. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
fun. I like this.
um, yeah. Every once in a while, Nick Cage just like has a winner, and but it just like I think because of the pandemic, it really went under everybody's radar because it was supposed
Right.
to be in a theater, but it came out at a terrible time, like
Uh,
right in the thick of it, and just went straight to the video, and like people, it's like you either know about it or you don't.
Right. Well, hopefully we get more people to know about it with this. Because
Yeah,
again,
right.
I recommend this wholeheartedly.
I mean, yeah, we're doing this episode because you recommended it. You
Hey,
wanted
I've been on an episode where I would not recommend the movie.
you originally wanted to do the Void,
Yes.
which speaking of whatever
Kostansky. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stansky,
That dude.
uh, yeah, what which yeah we agreed we'll do another time.
Yeah.
Probably after we do Father's Day, that would probably be a good transition.
Okay. Yeah, that
Um,
actually would. Same company.
but yeah, so yeah, this was fun. Let's go on to the next segment where basically we have Nick Cage's character. He just drives into town. Shit happens. He does his thing, and he gets back on the road. So what happens next? Do you think?
So here's my sequel idea. It's not like a direct sequel. I want to see a series where it's video game movies, but Nick
Ah,
Cage is in it. So kind of like how Tommy Wiseau like has his own gaming show where he just plays video games.
oh
Similar
right, I forgot
concept.
about that.
It's just Nick Cage in video game movies. So my first proposition is Silent Hill.
Yeah.
So you got him driving into the sound of Silent Hill. Again, his car breaks down, and now he's got to figure out how the hell to get out of the Silent Hill. But then because you only enter Silent Hill if you're being like punished for your sins. So we know that it's implied he has a spouse. We find out through the series of Silent Hill that he actually murdered his spouse via like a
Oh.
Silent Hill 2 sort of thing.
So maybe he's like trying to escape getting out of town or something.
Yes, and then rolls into Silent Hill. He's the one who killed his wife. And then, I mean, it's kind of on brand for like weird shit going on in the movie. Like, you've got the normal day of Silent Hill where like literally nothing's going on. And then you've got like once the sirens go off, the fog sets in. And then you just let Nick Cage go crazy against like Pyramid Head.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Any other video game ideas?
I mean, I have like so many that I'm like trying to like think about. Like, I I don't think I'd like to really necessarily see like a Street Fighter one starring
Oh,
Nick
I
Cage.
was literally just like a Street Fighter.
Really? Instead of like Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's Nicolas Cage. Everything else remains the same, just that
Yeah.
swap. That could be good.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Or I mean, like there's a lot of like Resident Evil shit going on right now, but I feel like that could be
Right.
kind of like
Just suddenly there's zombies.
yeah. I mean, because we just got Welcome to Raccoon City, and then Netflix had their Resident Evil show that got canceled. So there's some hype surrounding that, but that would be my sequel idea.
What's your prequel idea?
No prequel idea. So
So the way you said that, you were like,
another prompt was like, if you could take a movie and replace everybody but one character with like Muppets or animatronics. So here's my proposition. Full Metal Jacket except for the Vietnamese girl. Everybody else just straight Muppets or animatronics.
uh-huh.
She's the
Okay.
only one that stays the same. That would be
Okay.
pretty unhinged.
Yeah, that's pretty good. My idea was 12 Angry Men.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So it's like this kid is on trial for murder, and the society we're living in, they're like, you know what? People suck. They can't be trusted to determine the fate of those kids. So let's get a bunch of like animal robots.
Oh my god.
So just imagine all the silly characters we had in this
That would be
episode,
good.
this movie, and just they're all different. Like, yeah, it's the same ones, and they're just arguing over like that old man. He couldn't see, or no, that woman she couldn't see. The old man, there's no way he could have heard it with the train going by and stuff. And then there's just the one old man. He's the one who's the same.
Oh my god. Would the Green Mile be less depressing if it was animatronics or
Yeah.
more depressing?
No, I don't want to see this little like robot turtle fucking getting electrocuted.
I mean, that's definitely an effective way to put down an animatronic. You gotta admit.
Yeah, right?
Fry out its circuits. Which surprisingly, I was surprised there was none of that in Willy's Wonderland. It was more like curb stomping and shit like that.
Right, yeah. Speaking of which, there's one for you. American History X.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's so like all the white neo-Nazis fighting against animatronics.
That would make that curb stomp scene a little less depressing, probably.
That's just brutal.
Yeah.
But just replace all the black actors with robot, or maybe the white ones, whichever.
Either way, that's still brutal. Jesus.
It's just like instead of on the nose race war, basically it's humans versus furry robots.
I thought you were just gonna say just furries, and I'm like, I think we may lose a little bit of fans there. Who knows? Maybe we got some furries in our fan base. Who knows?
I mean, this would be the movie for them
That's
for
true.
sure. Uh, all right, okay. Now I have an idea. Eyes wide
Okay.
shut.
That orgy scene would be a little too intense. But who would be the one person that stays the same? Who would be the one human?
I guess Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman,
Hmm.
or probably just the people in the. Okay, so yes, everybody in the orgy, all the rich like millionaires who are masked, they're all the robot animals. And the
Man.
way Tom Cruise sneaks his way in is to get a suit, so he's like a furry. And he just walks in like just a big like furry cartoon like giraffe or some shit.
And instead of like the orgy scene being like this underground like cult, it's FurCon.
Yeah.
Man, I
But it goes by the same way. They're in a circle and there's the guy with the cane. He's like dunk dunk.
I gotta hand it to furries though, because I was listening to my favorite podcast, and they always have like a hero of the week, and then they'll talk about some really crazy metal shit. And the episode I was listening to was so there were these guys at the smoke pit, they're talking, things like that, and then they hear a woman screaming, and so they're like, "Oh shit!" So they run out, and there's a guy beating on this woman, like trying to pull her out of her car and stuff like that.
Damn.
So these dudes beat him up and sit on him until the police arrive. And no kidding, it was a bunch of furries. So I'll have to like link you the YouTube video, but it's
Okay.
like a bunch of furries beating
Yeah, I
up this
gotta see
dude and
that.
sitting on him. It's so fucking funny. It's awesome.
Nice. Alright. Okay. Yeah, this definitely took a turn.
I mean, it's still on the rails. I mean, it's still related
Yeah.
in a sense.
Did you have any other ideas?
No, those are my
I
two
mean, you can think of
ideas.
so many movies to change the cast to just murderous robot animals.
Yeah.
Um, huh. Maybe I don't know, like Die Hard or some shit.
That could be fun. Like all the terrorists, instead of being
Uh-huh.
German, instead they're just murderous robots. That would be pretty fun, actually.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
But
Any
like, I like the seriousness of American History X, though.
like transposed with the animatronics.
Yeah.
That's what I like with with the Full Metal Jacket. That would be,
Right. Yeah.
again, another very serious film, but animatronics. I
Mhm.
mean, you brought up 12 Angry Men. Why not take it another serious matter? Just go to Kill a Mockingbird. Everybody in the on the jury is a
Just
murderous animatronic.
anything to do with race.
Jesus Christ.
I
Well,
mean, yeah, it would be like a nice metaphor.
yeah, that's very on the nose metaphor.
All right. Cool. Well, I guess let's go ahead and rate this thing.
Hell yeah.
So now, I announced this last episode. We're going back to my roots of my old podcast with 2 ratings. One based on production and quality, and then the other pure enjoyment. So, yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this. I was surprised by how much I liked it. I mean, I knew I would like it, but I didn't realize that I would like it this much. And it's really fun. It's brutal, but also funny, but also just fun. So, yeah, I give it 9 out of 10 furries.
Nice. The production value. All right. Um, like you said, I mean, it's fun. We talked about, I mean, the cinematography is great. Even during like the sex scene in the ball pit, like the way the camera's panning around, the lighting going on, the animatronics sneaking up. I mean, I loved the cinematography. I'm surprised. It's sad Johnny can't be here because he'd
Yeah.
probably have a lot to say about the cinematography as
Oh,
well.
right. Yeah, like on our Color Out Space episode.
Yeah. The music was great too. As far as like production value, the only thing I can like complain about is, I mean, the CGI was a bit corny, but it's a low budget film, so I can't complain about that. So for that, I will give it 4 out of 5 breaks taken to play pinball and drink grape soda.
Nice. Okay, cool. I just realized that even though I said the change and I said exactly what I didn't even say production. I just went straight to enjoyment. So as far as
It's that
production,
enjoyable.
I mean it is. It's very nice to look at. The colors are all cool. Yeah, we said cinematography. The script was great. Yeah, I've got no complaints at all. So yeah, 10 out of 10 lines of dialogue and not said by Nicolas Cage.
Nice, nice.
And then, so what do you have for enjoyment now?
I mean, I love it. It's got everything I could possibly want: video game references, Nicolas Cage, horror references, murderous animatronics that I didn't even know I had a love for, but now I do. And so for that, I gotta give it 10 out of 10 teens slashed apart in a ball pit.
Awesome. That's cool. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Next week we're gonna be doing a movie that Sloan actually recommended. It's called Bleeders.
Hmm.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. If you want to join for that, that'd be cool. It's an old like '90s movie. It's got a Rutger Hauer in it, I believe. I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that either, so I that will be a first for me too. But I like
But
Sloan, so I'm in if you guys
all
are fans.
right. Yeah. I was actually looking for another person, so yeah,
Hell
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Bleeders. I don't. I watched the trailer and I still have no idea what what it's
Oh
about.
no.
But Rutger Hauer is in it, and he is another cult icon. So,
Yep.
um, he's like Rutger Hauer is kind of like what Nicolas Cage is now. He
In the
just
90s, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, he just did a bunch of random movies, and they're only good because he's in them.
Yeah, he makes them.
And then speaking of Hobo with a Shotgun, you know. Uh, but yeah, so that'll be next week. What do you have going on for this is when you die?
So we just put out the mortuary assistant. To everybody who's watched that, thank you so much. That's probably our most watched episode, so thank you so much for watching that. We really appreciate it. We're capitalizing on another big trend right now. That's going to be our next episode, called Inside the Back Rooms.
Mm.
Um, So if you're into like short films on YouTube, if you watch The Backrooms, it's based off a creepypasta and then just kind of exploded.
Oh, really?
So there's that. And then for our next game, it's going to be another kind of indie game, but it's one of those indie games where you can tell, I mean, the devs are putting their whole heart and soul into it, constantly updating it, making new
Oh,
maps.
nice.
Called Labyrinth, where um, in anticipation for the killer clowns from outer space, you are trapped in what appears to be a carnival, but as you dig
That sounds
deeper,
freaky.
go further into the maze, things get out of hand. That is definitely one where I will be screaming without a doubt. Absolutely. Like, I've
Can't
played the
wait.
game before, but I mean, the game has updated. They've added new death animations, things like that. It is crazy.
All right, sweet. Can't wait for
Yes.
that.
And I think
uh,
it'll be Allison's first time, so I think we'll
oh,
even get a
nice.
couple screams out of her.
She seems to be like the more like expert.
She that is absolutely the case. She gets like a little spooked from time to time, but she has the stomach to keep going. So I think that's where I found my love of horror games, is not playing them, but watching her play them.
Okay, nice, sweet. All right, well, yeah, everybody check that out, and then
Yes.
check out next week's episode, Bleeders, and yeah, as always, I will plant you now and dig you later. All right, later.
Later. Thank you so much.